Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? It is day 10, RPG A Day 2017, August 10th. And our question is, where do you go for RPG reviews? And I'll cheat a little bit and actually throw in an alternate question here as well, which is really kind of the same darn question. What do you look for in a review of an RPG? Not the same question, but might as well put those both together because they are related, aren't they? So, where do I look? First place, generally, well, how do I hear about a game? That's really related, and it's, I believe, one of the first questions. How do I hear about new RPGs or new to me RPGs? And so generally, I hear them from you in one way, shape, or form. I see some kind of review in a blog or on a forum or in a Facebook group or a Google Plus group or on YouTube, and I get intrigued about a game. And a lot of times, those are included, or included with that is a review. Now, sometimes it's a glowing review, more often than not, but I can find other reviews online. You know, if I become intrigued with the game and I have no clue who this person is that's kind of gushing about it, I'll become somewhat interested and I'll go, seek out some more information. And that could be anywhere on the internet. I mean, generally, at this point, the friendly local gaming store is kind of out of the mix. That you generally, I mean, the one that I have closest to me, really, they just don't know. They're selling the most popular stuff. So it's up to me to find out. But fortunately, we have this great internet now where I can find all kinds of stuff out. And of course, a lot of times you'll search for a review and something like RPGNet will turn up, and there's a lot of great stuff out there. So I can find out information that way, and in a multitude of counsel there is wisdom. Then I start to piece together a picture of what is this role-playing game really like, right? And oftentimes, what's happened over time is I start to realize if a particular poster or content provider's tastes are the same as mine, or I know what they look for. So as they're doing this review, I know how in depth they are, or, what their biases are. So I can kind of start to piece together what is this game really like. Sometimes the most useful reviews for me are from people that have different tastes than I do, but I can see what they're gushing about, what their problems with the game, is, and so I can piece together that information as well. As far as like specific places, I love talking about games. His channel, his reviews, definitely one of the most entertaining channels to watch reviews on. I really enjoy how in depth he goes in these reviews. Like if you want to know about the physical quality of the book, the PDF, if there's spelling errors, any kind of navigation errors in the PDF, if the font is distressing, he will tell you. So it's pretty awesome. He goes into quite a bit of detail. And Abraham and I don't see eye to eye on everything, but that's okay because at least he will give me some information about it. And he definitely goes into more of he touches a lot on the feel of the game. And if he's really gushing about it, he'll go on about it. That's cool. It gives me an idea. And there's other channels I check out as well. I enjoy the read through sometimes that like Questing Beast does, and there's a few other people like I'm just completely drawing a blank. But there's what you do, you find out the people you really trust. So it's hard to say this is where you should go. Certainly, if nothing else, RPGNet generally has enough people reviewing games. You get a good idea from there too. But yeah, a multitude of places. And what do I look for in a review? I want to know what is the game about? I mean, physically, yes, I'd like to know if the book is any good. If there's glaring issues I should watch out for in the book or the PDF. If it's something where they're gonna, I can't really play it unless I buy a whole bunch of supplements, all that kind of stuff. But I want to know, well, how does this mechanic work? Or the mechanics in the game work. And I like it when people go into quite a bit of detail. I love it when I was looking at stuff like D6 Star Wars, or just trying to bring myself up to speed on that. Webhead123, I believe, was a channel. I think I misquoted it a long time ago and said it might be Wedwad, but it was Webhead123 went step for step through how the D6 system works. Now I came away from that little review, if you will, thinking, oh, I felt much better about the game. Like I really kind of dig this. So anytime that somebody will go and explain the mechanics, even if I have to watch a series of videos, that's great. I want to know what makes this game tick mechanically. I want to know what the genre is, what the feel is. I want to know, how does this mechanic or, how the game is presented, if it's a specific style of play or feel they're going for, how do they get there? What does this game do that produces that feel? I just watched this great video by Matthew Colville talking about the Cargo Cult. And I love the Cargo Cult story, so I'll probably have to do a response video on that or something because it's great. The idea that sometimes we do things and have no clue why we're doing them. So I like to look under the hood is where I'm getting at in a game review. I want to see how all the pieces work, what's really going on in the game. How good of a job does it do at producing the feel it says it's going to produce? All that kind of stuff. What kind of feel is it going to produce? period. Is it, what's the ultimate feel of that game? People generally aren't going to use things like words like simulationist or narrativist or story game. Sometimes they will, but I want to know, like, before I investigate further, is this going to be something that's really going to float my boat or not? I want to know the premise. Sometimes just the premise hooks me. But these are the kind of things I want. Like, I suppose at the end of the day, I want to cheat. I want to get as much information as I possibly can. Not just pros and cons, but like what makes the game tick. I try to get my money's worth before I actually buy the game. That's what I'm getting. I want to know how does this really work. So a lot of times I become intrigued. So often I will watch a ton of reviews, but anything that gets more under the hood, gets into the nuts and bolts, that's what I really want to take a look at. So yeah, that's my answer for day 10. Stay tuned for more videos and make your own RPG a Day 2017.